From Fred Phelps to the Kinsey Six. The best of the best from Central Kansas and beyond. We do it all. We are KJAG Radio and the Jiggy Jaguar Radio Show. Log on to JiggyJaguar.com and KJAGRadio.com for more.
Hey. Back here on KJAGRadio.com, I'm Jiggy Jag. We're out here at the Kansas Cosmosphere and Space Center in the great and salt city of Hutchinson, Kansas, and I've got a very, very great guest with me. I'm going to get the heck out of the way and let the people of talent talk. Jump in there, my friend. Give us a little introduction on yourself.
Okay, I'm an Idaho boy. I'm 80 years old now. I was the 11th pilot to fly the airplane back in 1966, and flew it for about 3 years, then went away to higher staff duties, came back as the vice commander of the unit in 1973.
Yeah.
And then went on through duties in SAC headquarters and the Pentagon, and finally ended in England, where I spent quite a number of years in England, ultimately as a retiree. Got a PhD in diplomatic history, and have since then taught history and aeronautical subjects to graduate students at various places. Questions?
Talk to me a little bit about what you first thought when you saw this incredible aircraft.
Well, I was in Command and Staff College down in Montgomery, Alabama, and we hadn't seen it, but we heard about it because President Lyndon Johnson made an announcement that there was a new airplane out in Nevada that nobody seemed to know about. So when we had the opportunity, we flew to SAC headquarters in Christmas that year and asked if we could be assigned to this new airplane. And at that time, they said, well, we're just making a decision how to man it. That General Navarro, that was then the commander of Strategic Air Command, said, man it with your resources. Well, we were SAC resources. I had about 15 years of flying, which included the B-47 bomber. Went to California then in the summer of '65. We had no airplanes. We got T-38s at first and flew them. Finally, the first airplane came in, which is the first one I saw, and I said, wow, what a machine, what a machine.
Yeah.
So then I was an instructor for quite a while on the simulator, which was an exact replica of the cockpit of this airplane, and taught us the procedures, of which we invented a lot of the emergency procedures for the airplane.
That's cool.
First airplane then, I didn't get a chance to fly it until about midsummer. And by that time, with all the experience I had both in previous airplanes and in the simulator and in T-38, it was easy to fly. It was kind of an old friend, other than it was a heavy, non-fighter type of an aircraft.
Yeah.
My first flight in it was easy. We did no refueling on that flight. The next flight, we did aerial refueling, and I found aerial refueling to be quite easy because I had so much experience before in the B-47 bomber.
Yeah.
And then we flew to high altitude, and the first impression wasn't the speed, because speed you don't see all that well at high altitude, but altitude you really see, especially the great expanses of the United States with all the beautiful land mass. And we flew longer and longer missions, first 3-hour missions, ultimately with more and more refueling all the way across the nation and back, sonic booming millions of people.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, after we got 100 hours in the airplane, we flew to Okinawa, where we flew some of the very first sorties across Vietnam in the SR-70.
Wow.
I flew 4 sorties in fairly rapid succession in '68, and we did photographic reconnaissance of the entire country of Vietnam on a single sortie. We overflew Hanoi. We didn't overfly China, but we could do in a turn, we could take pictures fairly deep into China.
Yeah.
And then we refueled down over to Thailand and repeated sorties back up to Ho Chi Minh Trail. Finally, after about 100 flights in the airplane, I got picked to go to higher headquarters to be a staff officer to tell the generals about our airplane. And fairly soon then, my opportunity was away from the airplane into budgeting matters and so forth in the Pentagon.
Well, what do you think about this weekend, getting all the old pilots together?
This is one of a number. I think I've been to maybe 10 of these kinds of symposia. Tucson, Seattle, McMinnville, Oregon, Uvar-Hazy Museum in Washington, D.C., the National Air Force Museum at Wright-Patterson. And it's great not only to get a bunch of the guys together, of which most of them are younger than I am, but to also meet the public and to talk face to face with people that ask some very good questions, especially the youngsters that know more about the airplane than their parents do.
I'll bet.
What did you think when you first walked in here? And I'm sure you probably heard, but I just think it's amazing that the Cosmosphere built around this plane.
It is amazing. In addition, this posture of the airplane, like the one up by Lincoln and Omaha, is unique in that you can see the entire airplane, top and bottom. And it's quite a task to mount it in that way, but it's a beautiful mount. And it's more special than airplanes that are sitting flat on the ground. My airplane that I picked up brand new from the factory in 1967 on the 2nd of August is now at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio. And it's poorly displayed, even though it's out on the parade ground among all the new airmen that come into the service. Unfortunately, it needs to be indoors like some of the others, especially like this one, that can be so perfectly displayed.
This plane is amazing. I have loved this type of plane since I was a little kid. I had like a little model that I built of this plane. Was so proud of that plane. Over time, just as being in the military and a pilot and everything, do you think that the government ever came up with a plane that was as cool and did as much stuff as this plane? Or
well, I don't think so. There are some nifty airplanes. Everyone that flew their special airplane will say, oh, the B-17 is the greatest, the F-104. The T-38 is a fun airplane. I flew the F-86 Sabre Jet, and it was a great airplane. And every airplane has its qualities, but this one is unique in that everyone seems to know now, more so than back then. It was secret for such a long time that people didn't really know it, except when one time I went to Navy Lemoore in California to recover an airplane, and as I walked in and met this Navy commander, I said, how did you find out that the airplane was landing here, which normally landed either at Edwards or at Beale? He said, my 10-year-old son called me and said, Dad, there's an SR-71 on the file. He said, what's an SR-71? He said, oh, it's that new black airplane they have down there at Edwards and out there in Area 51. He said, that was the first one he'd ever seen. Good, thanks very much for
Yes, definitely. I appreciate it, sir. It's an honor to meet you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thanks for watching KJagradio.com.